Johannesburg, Africa's financial heartbeat, but also one of the most dangerous cities in South Africa. Tonight, we break down the suburbs where crime is at its worst, using the latest SAPS crime statistics. From inner-city robberies to suburban burglaries, here's where you need to stay alert. Important note, SAPS releases stats by police station, not suburb. So when we say Hillbrow or Sandton, we're really talking about the police station area that covers those suburbs. We'll focus on contact crimes, carjackings, and residential robberies, the categories that hit residents hardest. We begin our journey in Hillbrow, Johannesburg's notorious inner-city district. In the fourth quarter of 2024/2025, Hillbrow Police Station recorded 833 serious crimes, marking a 5% increase from the previous quarter. This densely populated area, characterized by its towering apartment blocks and vibrant street life, has long been a hotspot for various criminal activities. The narrow alleyways, poorly lit corners, and unmonitored entrances provide ample opportunities for opportunistic criminals. Residents often advise against walking alone at night with visible valuables, as such actions can attract unwanted attention. Despite efforts by local authorities and community organizations to combat crime, Hillbrow remains a challenging environment for both residents and law enforcement. The combination of socioeconomic factors, high population density, and limited policing resources continues to contribute to the area's reputation as one of Johannesburg's most crime-ridden suburbs. For those navigating Hillbrow, heightened vigilance and awareness are essential. While the area boasts a rich cultural tapestry and historical significance, it's crucial to remain cautious and informed to ensure personal safety. Next, we turn our attention to the Johannesburg CBD, policed by the Johannesburg Central Police Station. This area, characterized by its bustling transport hubs, like Park Station, and the numerous taxi ranks, serves as a magnet for commuters and tourists alike. However, this high-foot traffic also attracts opportunistic criminals. In the fourth quarter of the 2024/2025 financial year, the Johannesburg Central Police Station recorded a significant number of serious crimes. Notably, there were 1,402 cases of theft out of or from motor vehicles, highlighting the vulnerability of parked vehicles in crowded areas. Additionally, common crimes such as pickpocketing and common robbery are prevalent, especially in densely populated spots like taxi ranks and around Park Station. The combination of high pedestrian density, limited surveillance in certain areas, and the presence of valuable items makes the Johannesburg CBD a hotspot for opportunistic crimes. Commuters and visitors are advised to remain vigilant, avoid displaying valuables, and be cautious when navigating through crowded areas. Now, let's move on to Alexandra Township, commonly known as Alex. Latest SAPS data for Quarter 4 2024/25 confirms a disturbing trend. In common assault, the Alexandra Police Station leads Gauteng with a 31.4% increase year over year, while assault GBH rose slightly from 152 to 155 cases. Sexual offenses jumped too. Rape cases climbed from 42 to 45, despite an overall drop in Gauteng. This surge comes amid sharp increases in violent contact crimes. When volunteer patrollers halted their street patrols, Alex saw a spike in hijackings, murders, street robberies, and gender-based violence. One armed hijacking on London Road involved a toddler, and multiple shootings erupted near hostels and informal settlements. Local police commanders also point out that illegal alcohol outlets, shebeens proliferating across Alex, are significant contributors to the uptick in sexual violence and other assaults. With a woefully inadequate policing ratio, one officer for approximately every 730 residents, far below UN-recommended levels, Alex faces a serious law enforcement deficit. Further north lies Diepsloot, a township synonymous with violent crime. According to SAPS Q1 2023 data, the local police station recorded 20 murders in just 3 months, nearly double the same period in 2022. Diepsloot also ranks 28th nationally for reported rape cases and consistently places among the top 10 hotspots for contact crimes in Gauteng. Overcrowding is a key driver. More than 350,000 residents are packed into a small area with limited infrastructure, poor lighting, and narrow roads that make police response nearly impossible. In fact, only 2 patrol vehicles were allocated for months in 2023, forcing residents to take matters into their own hands. Community policing forums, CPF, organize night patrols, but they are under-resourced and vulnerable. In one tragic incident, CPF chairperson John McCullough was shot dead while responding to an armed robbery, sparking violent protests across the township. When street crime escalates, residents have resorted to erecting massive zinc sheet gates to lock off sections of the township at night. Despite these efforts, Diepsloot remains under siege, with gangs exploiting the darkness and law enforcement struggling to keep up. For locals, it's not just crime statistics, it's survival in what many describe as a war zone environment. Now we turn to Sandton, often called Africa's richest square mile. Home to the Johannesburg Stock Exchange, international banks, and luxury malls, it's the beating heart of South Africa's economy. But with wealth comes crime. In the latest SAPS quarterly stats, Sandton recorded over 750 property-related crimes, including car theft, smash and grabs, and business area robberies. Parking lots and underground garages are prime targets, especially late at night when security is thin. Business robberies are a growing concern too. Criminals target high-end boutiques, luxury restaurants, and corporate offices, often striking in broad daylight. Even affluent residential estates are not immune. Armed house robberies in Sandton North rose by 12% year-on-year, showing that criminals are not deterred by electric fences or private guards. For residents and visitors, the advice is clear. Stay vigilant in parking areas, avoid displaying valuables, and always assume you are being watched. In Sandton, the line between wealth and vulnerability is razor-thin. On the West Rand, we arrive at Honeydew, a policing precinct notorious for property-related crime. According to the latest SAPS quarterly stats, Honeydew consistently ranks among the top 30 stations in South Africa for burglaries and armed house robberies. In the last reporting period alone, the precinct recorded over 420 residential burglaries and nearly 150 armed robberies inside homes. Here, high walls, electric fences, motion beams, and CCTV cameras aren't luxuries, they're survival tools. Criminals often strike during early morning hours, when families are asleep, or in the evenings when residents return home. There have been chilling cases where gangs cut power to houses before breaking in, overpowering private security, and forcing families at gunpoint to hand over cars, cash, and electronics. Even with the fortress-like security, the fear of home invasions is ever present. Honeydew illustrates the South African paradox. Security everywhere, yet safety nowhere guaranteed. Jeppe, covering parts of Maboneng and Jeppestown, is Joburg's creative heart. Street murals, bars, and weekend markets pull in thousands. But as the nightlife booms, crime follows. In 2025, Gauteng lawmakers flagged a surge in robbery setups linked to dating apps, clustered right here in Maboneng. Victims are often lured to late-night meetups, then ambushed. Police at Yepe Station confirmed multiple cases during May and June alone. Robbery dominates the stats in this precinct. Street and common robbery account for over 35% of Yepe SAPS's violent contact crimes, with hotspots being the empty side streets between Fox and Main. The South African Victims of Crime survey also shows that people aged 20 to 34, the same group most active in nightlife, are the most likely to be targeted. Another key risk is vehicles. Reports note a consistent rise in theft from and out of cars, especially when parked on unguarded curbs around bars. Nationally, 11 out of every 1,000 households experienced car break-ins in the last survey year. And Yepe mirrors that trend. So while the precinct is vibrant and artistic, the profile of risk is clear. Young, distracted patrons at night, alone, and often carrying phones or wallets in plain sight. It's a reminder that here, fun and danger run side by side. Douglasdale, which covers Fourways and its surrounds, is one of Joburg's busiest leisure belts. From Monte Cassino to Cedar Square, restaurants, bars, and malls keep the area buzzing late into the night. But the same attractions make it a magnet for property crime. Police records show that in 2023/24, Douglasdale SAPS logged over 1,300 cases of property-related crime, with theft out of and from motor vehicles making up more than 40% of those incidents. Parking lots around night spots, especially near malls and entertainment strips, are frequent targets. In fact, SAPS statistics reveal that car break-ins peak on weekends between 7 p.m. and 1 a.m., matching nightlife hours. Residential burglary is also a concern in the wider Fourways zone, with nearly 1 in every 3 property crimes reported to the station linked to housebreakings or attempted break-ins. Security companies note that offenders here often work in small groups, using spotters around restaurants or clubs to identify unattended cars and then striking within minutes. So, while Douglasdale offers glitz, dining, and nightlife, it also carries a profile of risk: vehicles parked outside popular venues and homes left unoccupied during nights out. It's a classic case of lifestyle and crime colliding in one of Johannesburg's most vibrant suburbs. Between Johannesburg and Pretoria lies Midrand, a booming business and residential hub. But beneath the gleaming office parks and highways, Midrand is also one of the province's worst hotspots for hijackings and armed robberies. According to SAPS crime stats, the Midrand Police Precinct recorded over 280 carjackings in the last year, placing it among Gauteng's top hijacking zones. Many incidents occur at N1 highway off-ramps, Allendale Road intersections, and quieter back routes leading to industrial areas. The modus operandi is often brutal: cars boxed in by multiple vehicles, criminals armed with pistols or rifles, forcing drivers out in seconds. Victims frequently report being targeted at traffic lights, petrol stations, or while entering complex gates at night. Logistics and delivery trucks are also targeted, with gangs hijacking goods worth millions. In some cases, trackers are jammed, and the vehicles vanish before authorities can react. Midrand's rapid urban growth has made it a prime target for organized crime. Fast-moving traffic, isolated stretches of road, and high-value vehicles all combine to create a hijacker's playground. Finally, we move west to Rudaport and Florida, suburbs that consistently rank high for burglary and housebreaking. In the 2023/24 SAPS annual stats, the two stations together logged over 2,200 property crimes, with residential burglary making up nearly 40% of those cases. Florida in particular is flagged as a burglary hotspot, recording more than 600 incidents of housebreaking in a single year, placing it among the upper tier of Johannesburg's suburban stations. Offenders here typically target electronics, appliances, and small valuables, items easy to move through pawn networks or informal markets. Criminologists point out that many of these break-ins follow a predictable pattern: quiet residential streets, homes left empty during work hours or holidays, and weak perimeter security. Alarm companies also note that dogs barking and alarm boards often act more as deterrents than true barriers, since syndicates know how to bypass older systems. The takeaway? In Rudeport and Florida, the threat is not the nightlife strip or mall car park. It's right at home, with burglars treating suburban houses as prime hunting grounds. So what does this all mean? Crime in Johannesburg isn't spread evenly. In 2023/24, the city recorded over 162,000 criminal incidents across all SAPS stations. But the types of crime differ by area. Inner-city hubs like Jeppe see more street robberies, suburbs like Rudeport and Florida lead in housebreakings, while Douglasdale and Sandton face high theft from vehicles linked to malls and nightlife. According to the National Victims of Crime Survey, street robbery is the single most common violent crime, affecting around 2% of households annually, while burglary remains the #1 property crime, hitting over 1.1 million South Africans in the last year alone. So how do you stay safe in Joburg? Conceal phones when walking? Plan your transport before going out? Avoid empty streets after dark? Vary your daily routes? And always park in well-lit, secure areas. Crime patterns shift with each quarter. Hotspots change, syndicates move. That's why it's vital to check local SAPS reports and community alerts. Johannesburg is a city of immense opportunity, energy, and ambition. But it's also a city where awareness and preparation can save your life. If you found this breakdown useful, stay with us. Subscribe to Mzansi Crime Files for more deep dives into South Africa's crime hotspots, hidden patterns, and survival tips. Hit the bell so you never miss an update. Because in Joburg, information isn't just power, it's protection.